your piece, in which your first person piece behind the scenes in Cooperstown on induction weekend, clearly the honor is different when you go into the Hall of Fame from covering it. And covering it is just an incredible honor. When I did that at ESPN, and your piece talking about the beautiful Otesaga Hotel in Cooperstown, it really is straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting. And they have an event there where all the returning Hall of Famers show up. I walked in there, and it was like night at the museum. All the plaques were alive. I couldn't speak. I'm wondering, and you talk about that in your piece. I want to give you the floor and tell people what that was like the day before everything went down.
Yeah, I mean, that's really exactly the way I felt. These guys treated me from day one like I was one of them. Wade Boggs walked up to me on Thursday and welcomed me to the club, and, I heard those words a lot. But then it was Saturday. We were supposed to assemble in a room at the Otesaga so I could go speak. So naturally, I was the first one there. I wasn't going to be late for my own speech.
Right, yes.
And so, I was just sitting around, chatting, trying my best to keep my heart from exploding from my chest. And then I looked around the room and realized who was in the room. Sandy Koufax was in the room, and Brooks Robinson was in the room, and Ken Griffey was sitting right next to me. And I have to admit, I had to get up, leave my seat, and walk over to a corner of the room and try to take it all in. And I thought, you know what? I need to take a walk just to breathe. I think I'll walk down the hall of the men's room just to breathe. And so I'm walking, and next thing I know, there's Jeff Bagwell. And he was great to me all weekend. He said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Jeff, I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time feeling like I am worthy of being in that room with those guys." And he said, "I feel the same way." I said, "You feel the same way?" And he said, "Yeah, I have a hard time sometimes convince myself that I'm a Hall of Famer the way they're Hall of Famers." And it made me feel better. Later, we're sitting with Jim Thome on Sunday when they told him that they would like him to sit next to Hank Aaron on stage during that ceremony on Sunday. I saw the look of awe on his face. And so I realized it wasn't just me. Even the greatest players who ever lived have that feeling about guys in that room. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then obviously, the day that it happens and in that meadow, it really is, like I said, a painting. The whole thing is just a beautiful weekend. It's just amazing. And I'm wondering what of the day itself on that Sunday will you remember, Jayson?
Well, Sunday I didn't speak. Right. My day to speak was Saturday. Yep. So Sunday, I thought, wait, I'm going to have it easy. All I have to do is go out there and wave. But because I was last, I found myself backstage with just a really small group. Brandy Halliday was there, Edgar was there, Mike Messina, Mariano, and Mike Messina was showing me these notes that his wife had written out for him so he wouldn't make a fool of himself out there, and we were laughing about that. And both he and Mariano were so nice to me, were so complimentary about my speech. And Mariano even said to me, he said, this is easy for you. You write, you play. You write, you talk. It's easy. We don't write, we don't talk, we play. If you had to play, it would be hard for you. And it's hard to argue with that, right? But it almost made me feel like, for a minute, he would love to trade his skill set for my skill set because he wasn't sure he could get the words out. And then, of course, he went out there and he was awesome.
He was terrific.
I'll never forget that moment.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.